The Otter African Trail Run is proudly presented by Emperor Asset Management in partnership with Sandparks, Garmin, Easy Equities and Faces.
It's 2021, the grail of trail about to get underway. Really, the royalty of South African trail running is here. Christian Greiling, Landi Greiling, of course, the king and queen of trail running for so long have returned. A pandemic has not stopped us. The passion, and as we say here in South Africa, the gees. It is palpable here on the start line as young Otter van Heerden will be going for the magical mark. 4 hours. The unthinkable may happen today. He is chasing 4 hours. For the ladies, we are chasing 4 hours 40, and that mark, if broken by man and woman, will guarantee that runner 50,000 rand.
The conditions are looking a little bit iffy. However, I think it's going to hold. Very light rain is predicted, very light rain, and quite strong winds. So from our side, we're quite concerned about the chill factor, the wind chill factor. But yeah, all good. I think the guys are going to have a good race, keep the temperature down, and hopefully it won't slow the times down too much.
The race starts at Storms River mouth. 42 kilometres of rugged, unforgiving coastline trail terrain awaits the athletes. The Goo Munchie Point at Oakhurst Hut will be a welcome fueling stop. It's also the halfway point, after which they head towards the biggest of the 4 river crossings, the mighty Blowkrans. Cramping could well be a happening thing as the runners make their way to Andre Hut, after which one big climb and a steep descent will send them onto the beach at Nature's Valley and a hard-earned Grail of Trail finisher's medal. Masks and buffs down, and they were on their way. The cream of South African trail running talent and a couple of hundred hardcore and well-prepared amateurs charged away from the start. 4 river crossings, 2,400 metres of climbing and 11 serious climbs is what makes the Otter Africa Trail Run the Grail of Trail.
So this is probably one of the prettiest races in South Africa, and this race it's difficult to get on a trail. You have to book it well in advance, and I just love to have the ocean on your one side and go through this amazing forest, and you almost, I always found myself being alone out on Otter Trail. So it's a race not against so many other people. It's a race against yourself, and you're totally in solitude in nature, and it's really a pristine coastline, and so glad to be back.
I think there can be a surprise or two, but yes, I think I'm looking forward to it. Christian, you know, always running well on this terrain. And yeah, I speak a lot to Christian. He's actually coaching me for the past few months, so that's been an interesting collaboration for us. So I think there's a lot of strong oaks that can run well. Hopefully we can push each other for a quick time.
Yeah, so I mean Otter's steep. I mean there's certainly some climbs that feel like they're going straight up. None of the climbs are particularly long, but they are very steep. So that's kind of one big difference between Otter and a lot of other trail races we run is in other races you'll have maybe 3 climbs and they're not that steep, or maybe they are steep, but they're longer. And then there's a downhill and then there's a flat, but Otter's like you know, something like this. I think there's like 11 significant climbs. So the challenge is like a whole lot of short and steep climbs as opposed to some longer ones. So there's certainly some kind of artistry to running, to managing the climbs here.
The women's field was packed with credential runners, like informed Bianca Tarberton, runner-up to Tony McCann a year ago. 2016 winner and multi-sport star Robin Owen is back, as is local trail running legend 2014 winner Landi Greiling.
I absolutely love the trail. I think it's probably the least prepared I've been for this trail, but the most excited because yeah, I get to be out here and it's probably the first real hard race back after giving birth to my second child. So yeah, just very excited to actually lay it out all on the trail.
Bianca Tarberton had gone out very strongly, and approaching Scott Hut was all smiles after close on an hour and a half of running. Otter van Heerden had taken a firm grip on the men's race. 2019 winner was on sub-4 hour pace as he reached halfway at Oakhurst in an hour and 57 minutes. The fastest South African over the classic course had opened up a lead of nearly 4 minutes on Kane Riley, with 2011 winner Ryan Sands in 3rd place.
when I won the Otter. I think I won it in 4 hours 40 or maybe 4 hours 41. And I definitely love to run a quicker time. Some of the younger guys like Kane Riley give me a hard time, saying that that's what the girls' winning times are. I think Robin Owen's time is pretty close to that, or maybe even quicker. But I also say to Kane, he's like first got to win the Otter. So there's a lot of fun banter out there.
Bianca's smile was even broader as she reached Oakhurst in 2 hours and 21 minutes. Namibian Julika Paul was also taking on sustenance at halfway. She was almost 15 minutes back in second place, with Nadia Jooste in third.
Yeah, the most difficult is the first section. It's the most technical. The second section is actually very hilly, and I think that's where a lot of people either make or break their race. They actually push too hard at the second section from Ngubu to Scott. Following that, the race actually becomes easier, but by the time it becomes easier, they're pretty much broken. If you're not cramping now, if you're not cramping by the time you hit to Oakhurst, which is halfway, you're running too slowly.
Never a truer word spoken, as Robbie Roerich can attest to right here. The 9.3 Ks from Oakhurst to Blokrans saw Ryan Sands push hard to try and close the gap to the leading pair of Van Heerden and Riley. Cape Town-based Bianca Tarberton was on a mission. Running with a fluency and a feathery light touch, she increased her lead over Julika Paul and behind Nadia Jooste, who were toiling up yet more quad-burning steps. The tide was in the leader's favourite at Blokrans Crossing. Leaking blood from the knees, Johat was all focus. Kane Riley grew up running on Table Mountain, and it was his sometime running mate Sands who was closing the gap to him. Christian Greiling joined the race for the podium. The 2017 winner knows this route better than most. And Jacques Bass was also sensing a shot at the champagne.
And it's great to see how the sport has progressed. To see that guys are aiming for sub 4 hours when kind of 10 years ago it was like a big deal to break 5 hours. So it's super exciting, and who knows, like in 10 years time, like where like are the times going to go.
Johat went through Andre's hut in 3 hours and 23 minutes. Ryan was 12 minutes back and now 2 minutes ahead of a fading Kane Riley in third. Christian Greiling was on the charge. And Jacques Bass had moved into fourth place after Andres, which was just 8.8 Ks from the finish. The race was on.
Between Munchie Point and Blokrans, unfortunately, by my own mistake, I took a left turn and continued straight on those rocks where I should have gone right where the trail is. They told me at Blokrans I was still leading, so that put me in race mode again. And yes, just hold on for the win to the finish line. I knew there was a strong field behind me that wanted to chase me, so I'm very glad that I got the win again. It was such a privilege to be back here at Otter. It's a magnificent race, magnificent scenery, magnificent organized event. Yeah, and it's such a privilege.
He may have missed out on a sub 4 hour time, but that did not detract at all from a phenomenal run by Johat van Heerden to collect his second victory in the Otter African Trail Run Classic. Ryan Sands was chuffed with his second place.
Yeah, really stoked with how today went. When I first ran the Otter race 10 years ago in 2011, I said if you told me there's like one trail like there was only one trail you could ever run, and I would definitely pick the Otter. Growing up in Cape Town at the ocean and being able to combine trails and the ocean and in the Otter, it's just really spectacular and just incredible.
5 minutes after Ryan, Christian Greiling surged across the floating bridge to complete a superb second half of the race and take third place. And first to congratulate him was the winner. A sticky shower and a well-deserved swig of bubbly for the top three men. A minute and 20 seconds was all that separated fourth place Jacques Bass and David Kroon in sixth place. Arlo van Heerden closed out the top 10 just over 33 minutes behind the winner. This is a stunning coastline, and its local inhabitants must be respected. Earning a respect of a different kind was Bianca Tarberton. The women's race leader tripped through the Blokrans River mouth in 3 hours and 28 minutes, some 26 minutes ahead of Julika Paul. Nadia Jooste was in third, 4 minutes behind the Namibian triathlete. One of the two veterans who had run themselves into the top 10 was Susan Sloan, another former multi-sport star. She was chasing Mana van Deventer as she reached the Blokkrans crossing at 29.7 k's. The section to Andre's hut includes 100 metres of elevation over just 4 kilometres. Nadia Jooste was now less than 3 minutes behind Julika Paul in the battle for second place. Landi Greyling was over 20 minutes behind Jooste in fourth. But no one could hold a candle to the outstanding Bianca Tarbutin. A heartbreaking second 2 years ago, she was now free of the stress of studying. The 24-year-old chemical engineer from East London was heading towards victory in a super fast record time, and in a year in which she had had to deal with some difficult times.
I suppose my dad was very sick this year and he was in ICU for quite a while, and that was a really stressful time. And he's completely healthy again, and so I think that knowing that he's really healthy is what I'll be thinking of in my mind, just being able to run free and know that.
Yeah, an incredible performance. Bianca Tarbutin setting a new record here, breaking the existing record by close on 7 minutes. Incredible achievement, and given her history with the Classic of 2 years ago, where she actually ran herself to a standstill just a kilometre short of the finish line. What a remarkable comeback, a remarkable story, the Cinderella story of the race.
A quite astonishing time of 4 hours, 45 minutes and 34 seconds, good enough for 7th overall of 260 starters. Bianca Tarbutin had written a slice of Otter trail run history. 2 minutes and 44 seconds is all that separated Julika Paul and third placed Nadia Jooste. The 2021 Otter African Trail Run, presented by Emperor Asset Management, had delivered a week of wonderful outdoor adventure.
Yes, our job is to put smiles on faces, and let's be honest, there's no better place to put smiles on faces than running through the Tsitsikamma, seeing the beauty, seeing the beautiful people, and connecting. You know, we aim to get people to be inspired, to be proud of being a South African, and create a sense of community. And I think there's no better example than the Otter. But definitely we try to do that all over the country with all our events. And now's the time that I really think we need it. The human race needs it, the people need it, and our country needs it. And we're going to double invest and make sure that we deliver on our promise to this community.
An amazing day, but tough. It's relentless. You know, just when you think you got past a big hill, another one comes along. So that was amazing. But it's an amazing event. The proud sponsor. So yeah, we'll hopefully back next year, but it was amazing. So it's a great crowd. It was tough. It's very, very tough, but I did it. My first Otter, it won't be my last. So it's great to be part of it.
After the trials and tribulations of the last year, there was an added sense of achievement and unbridled joy at Nature's Valley from every finisher of the Grail of Trail. Congratulations, and see you next year. The Otter African Trail Run was proudly presented by Emperor Asset Management in partnership with Sandparks, Garmin, Easy Equities and Faces.